Record. Look, Andy's first delay.
Wow.
Look at that. Normally, Andy is recording so fast, the fastest.
But he normally then goes, wait, do you want me to record or not? Because most of the time we're saying stuff that we can't put on here.
No, we're not.
I know.
No. We get, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Beyond I Do. I know. No, yeah, we don't, I don't think we've ever cut anything, to be honest. I know for sure Beyond the Letter we've cut stuff, but not Beyond I Do.
I was thinking about the one that we just recorded. I was like, dang. I was like, don't send him that because I'm going to get canceled. We're talking about speaking in Spanish. I was like, they're going to clip all of them.
Yeah. Don't clip that.
Don't clip that.
Don't get Ashlee.
Don't get me canceled.
Do not get her canceled.
Like, please don't
Look at
get
that.
me canceled. Please. Okay, what are we doing?
No, I got it. So welcome everyone to Beyond I Do. We got shorter episode for us today, so it'll be a short one, something you can catch on the fly. Be like 30-minute episode. But what I thought would be good is Alize at one point not too long ago asked on Instagram for some people to have questions. I thought maybe we could try, every time we try to do this and we say, okay, it's going to be rapid fire, we get like 2 questions in.
Yeah, okay.
And then we're out of time. But
I'll be quick.
I'm thinking we could rapid fire. We could, okay? So we'll ping pong it. And to be fair, I'll ask the question. If you're like, honestly, I don't know, then we'll move on. Okay? Because some questions like you and I aren't even, we'll have advice for. Others we're not even in that season, couldn't even tell you.
Okay.
You know, et cetera, et cetera. But we will try to rapid fire these. And I'm not going to spend too much time reading ahead. So even if I read it and go, I feel like we already answered that, then we'll move on. So welcome everyone to Beyond I Do. Adam and Ashlee here with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wow, you're like some kind of rapper.
Well, no, it's hard for me between my Spanish accent and my English accent. I gotta switch it on. I gotta switch it on and off.
Look at Ash's face.
We're gonna get canceled. Stop.
Canceled? I am Mexican. What are you talking about? Like you can't. I'm not getting canceled.
They're gonna be like, you're fake Mexican.
No, I'm not. I'm not fake Mexican.
You don't speak Spanish. You are fake.
Wait, we're not doing this again. Okay.
Okay, go.
Okay. Well, number one person did a shout out. They said they loved the episodes where you and I were just talking, answering the questions. The one funny one, one serious one. So
you thought that was going to be terrible.
Thanks for being relatable. I did that. I thought the whole topic was going to be not interesting at all. Just honest. But then I watched it back and I'm like, oh, this is pretty interesting. It's entertaining, you know? Working together, married. That was our last episode.
Yep.
So we talked about that. Yep. Okay. Dating boundaries and biblical dating for those early 20s. Got to give a huge shout out to our church, Patria Church. So if you want to check out this question more in depth, go to Patria Church on YouTube. And we recently did a healthy dating live. And so I wish YouTube was like Instagram and stuff where you can like collaborate with other pages for a video. I know at one point they rumored that they were going to do that where like influencers can collaborate the same video, you know, to expand the audience and all that stuff. And I think there's a day that YouTube will be doing that, which would allow us to collaborate, say, with like our churches Beyond I Do lives that we do. Mm-hmm. So maybe you listen to us, maybe you don't go to our church and you're like, oh, I would love the healthy boundaries for dating or just a conversation around dating. We did that for marrieds and singles in one conversation. Go check it out. Okay. Let's see. Abandonment and separation in marriage. What does the Bible say? Okay, well, you know.
Go ahead. Bible scholar.
Okay, so let's go to the I'll read the common famous verse, which is Jesus' statement. Okay, so and this is something we've talked about before on some of the episodes. So basically you can go to Matthew 19 if you want to read it. There's a lot that Jesus is talking about. He's talking about divorce, and he says, verse 4, haven't you read that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female and said, for this reason a man will leave his mother and father and be united to his wife, so they're no longer two, but they're one flesh. Then he says, why then, they asked, did Moses command that a man give his wife a certificate of divorce and send her away? Jesus replied, Moses permitted you to divorce your wives because your hearts were hard, but it was not this way from the beginning. I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another woman commits adultery. The disciples said to him, if this is the situation between a husband and wife, it's better not to marry. Jesus replied, not everyone can accept this word, but only those whom it is given to. For those, there are eunuchs who were born that way, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by others, and there are those who choose to live like eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. The one who accepts this should accept it. Okay, let me share that a little bit more. Jesus says, I tell you, anyone who divorces his wife except for sexual immorality marries another woman. So abandonment and separation, there's kind of more of a theological view that if you do more of a deeper study into the original language of this statement, in Jesus's time, there would have been these, it would have been, recognized as a vow that is made in your wedding, and what that vow is made before God. And so this would be kind of what we would say are some of the A's in marriage. So you have adultery, abandonment, and abuse. Mm-hmm. And so when you read this statement that Jesus says about sexual immorality, he's using this term of immoral vow breaking of the vow. And when we vow to be one. And so there's this idea that like physical abuse, abandonment, adultery is breaking of vows. So number one, the Bible never, and someone could try to argue otherwise, the Bible never says you can or can't separate from your spouse. It doesn't say you have to live in one roof, so to say. It doesn't say that, you have to, the marriage has to look a certain way, right? It says it has to be honored and it can't be broken, the vow that you made. And so there have been times in ministry that I have highly encouraged individuals to go live with their parents. 10 years in, 15 years in the marriage. They're doing what? They're saying what? They're physically abusing you. They're physically abusing you. Let's call the police. They're emotionally abusing you. They've abandoned you. Like, go live with your parents. Oh, but, isn't that frowned upon? Isn't God? You're not getting divorce papers.
Right.
You're not moving on with another man or woman, So go spend time separate and let them feel like don't just sit there and let them drink all day and cuss you out, call you this, call you that. The Bible doesn't say you got to be a punching bag, So it says that there's certain permissions. Their addiction to alcohol would not necessarily in the onset be biblical reasons for divorce, especially if you knew that they had that issue going into the marriage. Mm-hmm. But you can have grounds to say, hey, I'm going to go live somewhere else,
right.
And you honor. They may say, well, then I'm going to divorce you, or they can do that. That's as a Christian, you're not supposed to be like, I refuse to sign that paper. If they give you divorce papers, biblically, you can sign them. You can say, oh, as a Christian, it takes two to tango. So they can submit a divorce, and you can agree to it. I've had people say, oh, my spouse is submitting me divorce papers, and I'm fighting to not accept it and not this, but I don't want to be married to them. They broke my heart. They cheated. They this, that, and the other, but I'm just trying to honor God. And it's like, well, if you feel that's a word from God, then you should honor him, and mm-hmm. he'll sustain you and these and that. But this idea of moralism and you're just trying to make God proud or whatever it is when this person is trying to actively, cheat on you, leave you, divorce you, then you can accept it. And God is going to bless you and help you move on in your life mm-hmm. and things like that. And I know the Catholic Church has some differing views on some of these things in divorce. Like even if you've gotten a divorce, if it wasn't sanctioned by them or approved by them, you still can't, fellowship, you can't remarry in the mm-hmm. Catholic Church, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know. That's more part of their ecclesiological, which is like their church function rules, than rather what I would say is kind of biblically rooted. And so I do. Separation in marriage is at times things that in counseling I suggest as an alternative to divorce, to let a person experience what it's like to no longer have this person in their life that they're frankly taking for granted if they're treating them
Right.
with abuse, abandonment, or whatever that is. But also at the same time, I tell people if they have abandoned you, had an adultery on you, and you say, hey, we're going to make this work for the kids, or we're going to stay married, or whatever, then that's the medicine you've chosen to take. And so you can't just every day now be like, well, you this, you that, and what you
Right.
do or what you did. You're choosing to accept the relationship as it is without asking for change.
Right.
And number one, that's going to be a struggle. It's going to be an uphill battle, but also that is a decision you made. And
Right.
and the last thing we'll say is something you and I say. We say a broken marriage is just as hard on children as a divorced marriage.
Right.
So this concept of, we're going to be together, stay married, even after an adultery or whatever else, without healing, because
Right.
that's what they don't add.
Right.
It's like we're not pursuing healing, we're not
Right.
pursuing restoration. It's just like, yeah, we're just doing it. We
Let's
sleep in separate
put it on the
beds.
rug. Yep.
We because we're doing it for the kids. The
Right.
kids see it. It's affecting them.
Right.
It will show up in different ways. Yeah, it may
Absolutely.
not be as hard as sharing weekends or whatever, but I'll tell you this: they will be raised in an environment where they don't know what affection looks like between
Right.
two adults. They don't know what love looks like between
Right.
two adults. It
How
will
to treat the opposite sex.
for sure. It will affect them.
Right.
Maybe you got something on this because I'm trying to understand the question a little more. Maybe Nancy or Alize can understand it too. Social media and boundaries with the opposite sex. Social media and boundaries with the opposite. I don't understand the question they're asking. Boundaries with the opposite
I think
sex.
I don't know if they're asking from a dating, engaged, or marriage perspective, but I think it's like liking girls' pictures, DMing people, DMing the
Yeah.
opposite sex, like
Yeah.
what's okay, what's not.
And you're
But,
single?
so
I would
they
say
didn't specify, I
I'd
don't
go
think,
all the
but
way.
Let's do all of them, and I don't know if it's different in each one, but
Well, you could talk about the thing you talked about the other day with me, where you're like, why stop sending girls to DM me.
Literally, I was like,
And Nancy's there. Nancy's with me every
Yes.
Sunday when people come, when guys and girls come to talk to
Yes.
me, and everyone wants to always follow up, like because they're going through something. They're like,
Yes.
hey, if this week is hard, could I DM you?
Yeah.
Could I this? Could I that? Or whatever. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
with guys, my answer is hit me a DM. I'll be at
Yeah.
girls. I go, no. Like.
Yeah.
you're like, oh, my
Yeah,
wife.
I'm
is
like, you
usually-
could DM me a
sometimes you'll try to-
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they want to know, like, hey, what time does service start today, or is childcare for this thing? I'm going to respond and say
Yeah,
yes.
9 a.m.
The moment, or if they send a praise word, just want to say thank you for that message. About, oh, praise God, thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
I'll respond to that stuff all day.
Yeah.
But the moment they're like, hey, can you just give me some advice or help me? I was like,
Yeah.
here's my wife.
Yeah.
My wife's in ministry with me, which is also one of my arguments on why Ashlee is a quote unquote co-lead with me,
Yeah.
because in 2025, it's not advisable that men privately counsel women. We live in a very disruptive age where both men have taken advantage of that, but also women have taken advantage of men.
Yeah.
And ruined their character and their, I could easily, send someone a, praying for you, emoji hands, smiley face, and then someone say, Pastor Adam flirted with me.
Or a fire emoji.
Or
because you
fire
posted
emoji.
something.
Oh, he told me I was hot. So anyone can ruin your character nowadays. And so we at our church, we have my wife and other women brought to places of leadership, not necessarily to pastor the entire church, but to pastor the women in the church. I am pastoring them from a platform. I am pastoring them from content resources like this.
Yeah.
But I cannot, even if they want individual counsels, like, hey, I got to slide my wife in. Now, other churches who don't bring women up, it's like, well, there's always a case where the women are not being fully ministered to because the men, and that's something me and Ashlee talked about even in terms of like office. I'm like, well, I got all these men I'm mentoring, and there's a lot of talented women, but I'm not going to bring, a couple women with me to a conference and be like, because I see potential in you and I want to, we've done that before where I've said, hey, Ashlee, me and you, we're going to go to a women's conference. We're going to bring some key women leaders. I'll do one dinner with y'all or whatever, invest in those ladies, but the rest of the time it's you.
But it's never you alone with oh, let's bring 2 women with us and it's just you and
hey girls, I'm going to meet you over there, but still like in a perfect world I would love to because there's potential in everyone, but I'm not stupid and I'm not going to put my reputation on the line for a girl who all of a sudden gets released and says, after all, I'm not a fan of Adam and I'm going to,
you even went to a conference the other day and I was like, you're like, yeah, I have a bunch of the guys there. You said, you're not taking any of the girls? Because I knew I wasn't going, but I knew a whole bunch of you and the pastor guys are going. And I was like, you're not taking any of the females from staff? And you're like, well, no, because you're not going.
Yeah, I was like, that's
even though there was though there was other men there and there was a covering, it wasn't like him personally inviting. Right. But he's like, no, you are to be in the room.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, what was
and
the
I have taken girls in the past. Like that same event 2 years prior, I took Alizé and a big team. Yeah. But it was like a mix of guys, girls. There were pastors there, this and that. Yeah. So there's no that no one could say like, oh, I got one-on-one discipleship with Pastor Adam.
I went with Pastor Adam by myself.
Yeah.
No. Wait, what was the DM thing?
Anytime I'll get, hey,
like on Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, all of a sudden Ashlee's flooded with these like,
hey, Pastor Adam told me to reach you. Pastor Adam sent me. And half the time I'm thinking like, I don't mind that he's sending them my way, but majority of the time I'm like, this is what I would say. If you have any question for my husband, but obviously the context of you're not going to directly ask him, Adam's going to direct you to me. Yeah. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to ask my husband because normally he knows it. So if you want an answer from my husband, just ask me and know that you're not getting Ashlee's answer.
And I'm not going to respond to every DM. I'm not going to respond to a DM and say I only go through my wife. You know, I'm going to honestly not answer it.
Right.
You know, not always, but sometimes I'll read some and I'll be like, I'm not even going to engage. Because I know I'm compassionate. Yeah. So if I say, hey, talk to Ashlee, and they're like, well, it's just, and then I go, oh, am I, well, how do I get Ashlee involved in this? How do I, but there's even there's some people who have my number. Yeah. And they'll be like, from years, because I was a youth pastor and young adult pastor, and there were times in my life where I couldn't dictate, because I had female volunteers and I had to engage. And it would be like the moment they would text something that I felt like, it's not that it was flirting. It was just like, it's about church, but it's also not because they got something going on and they're like, boom, I add Ashlee. I'm like, hey, you good? Can I put a group text with Ashlee? Yeah, I'm good with that. Cool. Boom.
Were you dating or were you married?
Married, Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were dating. I don't care about her. She's not.
Stop.
She shouldn't care about me. Ain't no ring on her finger. I mean, you could start practicing respectful habits, which is what I did. I mean, I went out here flirting, but I still had a job to do. To say
the boundaries within that. If I was on and him and I were talking, and I see that he's liking all these women's pictures, I'd be immediately turned off.
Yeah, you're just a pervert. Yeah.
Okay, I'm 1 in a million. There's nothing special about me if you're liking her. And then that's where the insecurities start to come up, especially if you don't address that person that you're into and you're seeing that the person you like is liking other women. Yeah. Now you're comparing yourself to what he's liking. Because it may not even be what you look like. Right. And now you're like, wait, do you like that over what I look like? What is it about them that attracts you? Because I remember there was this TikTok trend for a minute and it was women or wives sending pictures of a dress, and it said, what do you think I would look like in this dress? And the husband or the boyfriend would respond, oh, that's ugly. Why would you even want to wear that dress? And then she would send the screenshot of him liking the woman in that dress, and he goes, well, clearly you liked it on her. Ooh. And it was like,
or sometimes they'd be like, well, I was assuming you liked the dress because what else would you have been liking in this picture? Right. And then they're like, and it's normally like a really pretty girl or whatever,
But do you think there's also like an extreme that you can take it to? Because obviously you both have male and female friends. Mm-hmm. So you are going to like maybe Crystal or somebody posts something, Pastor Adam likes it or comments. Mm-hmm. As long as it's respectful, I think that's okay. I don't know if you have to take it to the extreme like, oh, I can't like any male friends. I have to unfollow all my male friends. Like, not like
here's how I take it, and
Yeah.
I will. Okay, let's say Ashlee has female friends. Like she has some best friends that are still single, right? This is Nikki and Lonnie and blah blah. I would never like their stuff. I would never like it. Because especially the way algorithms work nowadays, you can see what people like. And so I wouldn't want someone else, let's just say a guy struggling with something or a girl struggling with something, come across, they don't know the context of Ashlee's relationship with this person. Say, oh, Pastor Adam liked this girl. She seemed single. Is he hit on her or whatever? Because the algorithms, they do that. They show you. And I have a really highly engaged page. So people with highly engaged page, it shows more of that person's content. And so I wouldn't, what I would is, if I felt compelled to do something, it would be a comment that had a lot of context in it, right? Like, oh, so happy you had fun. Me and Ashlee were just talking, me and Ashlee, like whatever. So if they're single, I'm not engaging in it at all. Even if an employee is single, like I'm not liking their stuff or whatever at all. Yeah. I'll comment as long as it has context and something that I'm willing to already be out there, right? Counted for. Now, same thing. If she has a friend and they're married, I'm only liking and commenting on like family photos or family moments. If she had a picture and it's just her in a dress holding a birthday cake and she's like, oh, it's my birthday, I want to be like, oh, happy birthday. It would be like, oh, if their family's there and happy birthday. I hope. Ryan showing you a ton of love, whatever, right? Like I'm always, obviously I have to be more aware than the average person. But again, I really was like this before anyone, before I had a platform or anyone knew who I was. I mean, been with Ashlee for 12 years. Like I've been, I was 23 years old when I met Ashlee. So I don't think any of this stuff has changed since I was in my early 20s. No. So it's not like, it's not like I'm like, in some ways, I've grown to be wiser, but I've had the same boundaries. If not, when I was younger, I had more boundaries. I probably wouldn't have liked, commented anything on any girl ever. Now I'm like, I kind of feel like we talked about before. I'm like in my mid 30s, going on 60s. So I feel like people perceive me a little different. So now I realize people put me in a different category, so I feel more comfortable because they more so look up to me and see me as a pastor rather than a peer. So then I feel a little bit more freedom to kind of love on people and all that stuff, even if as long as their spouse is involved in the thing, and as long as I know their spouse. Like if Ashlee has a friend and I don't know their husband, I'm not liking it, comment nothing. Yeah. Me personally, I'm not at all.
Yeah. What's your POV, Pastor Ashlee?
What's my what?
POV.
Well, for me, I always, whenever I hang out with any of I feel like I'm another homeboy. I feel like I'm another friend.
Well, Ashlee's sister to all my friends, and I don't really have many friends. Yeah, so I'm all my friends, they're brothers. So for Ashlee,
I was gonna say you guys have a lot of just family friends.
Family friends, but I'm the dap up. What's the good?
Yeah,
the chest bump. I don't. For me, it's never been. No one comments. If we get something from Beyond I Do or anything of the guys that'll come, oh, Adam's so funny, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. And that's all it is. It's if any male that's ever been in mine, they're normally from the church. They're normally hyping up Adam, and I'm like, bro, get off my page before I knock you out. Yeah. And so, but they're great. It's very bantering. Not the one that's it's not.
Yeah.
I got Phil, Aaron, Heron, little brothers, Jermaine, Gabriel, whatever. Yeah. Ashlee wouldn't be like, oh, happy birthday, bro, love you, whatever. Yeah. That's not Ashlee's style. It wouldn't bother me, but that's not either of our style.
Yeah, the only I shout out Aaron and we were in do-rags. I'll shout out Nathan. And that's it.
Yeah, and that's more of happy birthday to my brother. It's more of a picture or whatever. And so our I wouldn't say it's a conscious boundary on social media, but
I think it is because for majority of the time, you and I, Adam and I are very much this.
Oh, yeah.
We don't stop. If anyone, I'm just an Adam's, or we'll read the comments, on the TikTok, comments. Yeah. But with Instagram, it's very much, and I feel bad because half the time I'm like, dang, I see this person all the time and I forget to double tap.
Yeah.
double tap,
Show
like to
love or
heart it, show
whatever.
love or
Yeah.
anything. But so it's very conscious.
And I'll
of,
comment
like,
more than I like.
Like, yes.
I don't
Which
think
is-
I've
yeah.
ever seen you in anybody's comment.
It's
section.
really
rare.
rare. And it's like Pastor Julian.
Yeah. I'll do.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be like friends that are doing stupid stuff or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
you know,
it's nothing
yeah.
like.
Oh yeah, church's Instagram.
But that's what I'm telling you. Adam's very.
Because the people closest to me, I'm gonna.
But I
You
think you're
text them
different to
about
a lot
it.
of men, though.
I feel like I'm old.
Yeah.
You know, like, because
Yeah,
I'll see
or-
something on their Instagram and then I'll like screen capture it, then
Or
go in a
there's-
group text and be like,
yeah.
"Hey, yo,
Oh,
happy
yeah.
birthday," you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Or there's
whatever,
some
you know,
silly
like-
excuses, male
Yeah.
or female, that try to use like, oh, it's for work. I have to network. Like I'm.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
here,
You can.
Here's the thing, though, like, because Instagram shows you who likes stuff,
Yeah.
I will see men that I know that are married and them liking stuff that because Instagram will make suggestions based off of people that you know and what they're liking. It'll say, "Oh, suggested because," and then the bottom, it's like this person liked it. And it'll because I do all of Ashlee's shopping. So we
Instagram
go on
messy.
vacation.
I'm just kidding.
You know, we
Yeah.
go on vacation. I buy
Buy
Ashlee all her
pajamas.
pajamas, her bikinis,
Mm-hmm.
her I do all her shopping. So at times my algorithms, because they're
Oh,
connected.
I see
they're-
what you're saying.
You know,
Yes.
It's gonna
they're,
show
they're built
you
with women's
women's
like
stuff, yeah.
stuff, and because I do her shopping
Yeah.
and so
Or
there
if you save something, yeah, it's gonna be like, oh, you like that. Let me send you
exactly
some more.
yeah. So there's like a brand like Ashlee's some of her swimsuits she wears a brand called Skatey is what I buy her.
Love it.
And so at times Skatey will show up as on my algorithm because and I have like I get the text message notifications when there's a new drop or whatever, and then I'll get her new stuff because Ashlee's just not a shopper like that, and so like a girl's like it'll be her bikini,
Yeah.
and then I'll be like, oh, that guy liked it. It's a married guy that I know, and I'm like,
Are you,
you know,
shopping?
like wait, like wait, hold on,
Yeah.
and they maybe they may very well have the same reason
Yeah.
which is like, but I know them. They don't. Number one,
Yeah.
they don't be dressing, and I know they don't dress their wife. So their wife dressed herself, and so then
Yeah.
I just go like, dang, you're stupid. Like,
Yeah.
you just what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so. With social media becoming what it is today, people just should just be so mindful.
Yeah.
Now again, even if you're mindful and you're hiding this stuff, whatever you hide will come to the light. So don't think, I just gotta be better at,
Well, yeah, 'cause I think-
hiding. It's like
Or
no, you
not
just gotta be
liking.
better.
Well,
you
this
know, you
is-
gotta
don't
be better.
follow,
you know?
but I'm gonna
Yeah.
go and like.
Well, it was the
Exactly.
silliest thing because
Yeah.
I think the other day, this is so off topic, but on topic, I was like, my suggested Taylor Swift. I was like,
Yeah.
what is this? And I go and look, and I was like, huh, Erica? Oh, you lost your gangster car. You follow Taylor Swift. Get up off here. And I text her. I said, you lost your gangster car. She's like,
Screenshot.
why? I said, because you like Taylor Swift. She goes, I have 2 little girls. I said, your 2 little girls are thugs. I know they don't like Taylor Swift.
They for
And she
sure
goes,
don't.
they probably don't. I go, exactly. Why are you following her? But it's just so funny. I was like,
Yeah.
why is it suggest Taylor Swift of all people? And I was like,
Yeah.
Erica. I was like, Miss Erica.
Right.
Yes. So those things. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's just
It can be tricky,
It
like
is. It's
following males or following females
Yeah.
back or whatever. It's just like a tricky space to be in. But I think as long as you have a conversation with and be honest and transparent
Yeah.
with your person, then and see how their reaction. If they're like, "Oh, you're tripping," then it's like,
yeah, if you come off defensive, we know you're lying. But another thing is like, I mean, if you're a Christ follower and you claim to walk with Christ, just know what's done in the dark will come
Yeah.
to the light. So whatever you're hiding will be exposed one way or another, and you can't be shocked when it is or defensive when it is.
Yeah.
Just own up to it and say, hey, it was my mistake. This is what I'm going through. This is what I thought. I didn't realize it. Because there are people watching that you may not realize.
Right.
And so
It's there.
and we're in this society now that everyone wants to expose somebody. Everyone wants to be like, if you seem too perfect, I'm gonna find something about you.
Yeah.
So
Or there's like features on Instagram where you can like, I accidentally one time swiped up during a DM and I was like, wait, vanished? I was like, why is it vanishing? What is that?
Yeah.
You
And
know?
so
Oh,
vanish mode.
I'm like, so
you
it-
could have the little
So
secret
what does
mode.
that mean?
Yeah.
Like it hides your messages, right?
Yeah, it means it
But
keeps
can you bring
it
'em back?
deletes. No, it's gone.
Oh.
Set it up and you're texting and you go again, it's gone.
It's gone. Yep.
Yeah, it's
That's
made for
weird.
shady people.
Why
Yeah.
would they? That's so annoying.
Yeah.
Why would you create that?
My mom always tells me, too much is given, as much is required. So if you have a platform, be mindful.
Yeah, I mean, not just a platform. Just you want to be married. Don't be an idiot. Like, what are you doing? Why do you?
Right.
You know, nobody has a gun to your head telling you to
Right.
like that girl's thing or that that guy's
Yeah.
thing. Guys,
Right.
girls do too. It's like, what are you
Right.
doing? Why are
Yeah.
you so dumb? Why are you
Yeah.
doing dumb things?
Right. Take a
You're
peek,
married
keep
and take a peek. Like you're married. Why are you commenting on a girl's, booty page, promoting some type of thing, and you're like, oh, I like, whatever, or they like it. We sit with people, we know these
All the
things. Like
time.
I hear what people do, and I just like, number one, like. You all need to go to counseling. You're like
Right. You're commenting on something that no one's
like,
ever going to respond to.
Right,
So
this
now you're
person
just
has
exposing
this girl has 10 million followers. Like, what are
Right.
you doing?
You think she's going to find
it's weird.
you?
Yeah. It just like, don't be foolish.
Right.
That's how you get yourself in trouble in a marriage ruined off Instagram.
Right.
But they say
Facebook.
right now 50% of all divorces. Facebook is brought up as one of the reasons in all, and Facebook companies, so Instagram, all that. So it's like it's clearly an issue. So
Right.
there's your boundaries. So
Right.
hopefully we answer this. How do you get past cheating in a marriage? Will God be angry for walking away? I mean, if you want to get past, I recommend marriage family therapy. You're going to need some. You're going to need to walk through some forgiveness tools. If that's what you're choosing to do, then, you're going to need some equipping and help to move forward. And no, God would not be angry for you walking away. That is a reason why you can walk away from a marriage. If you feel like you can't forgive it, it'll take time. It'll take years to forgive and years for that pain to go away. And it'll always feel like a scar. But you also could be a huge testimony of goodness if you guys can restore and walk in forgiveness. Let's do this last one. How to know when it's time to put the ring. They just put a ring. So, get married. Put a ring on the finger.
How do you know when it's time?
I honestly, I gotta be honest, I never get that. I never understand that
Me
question.
neither.
I get asked a lot, but
For me, I don't.
it doesn't make sense to me.
Me seeing Nancy in her relationship, he need to put on a ring on it tomorrow.
Oh my god.
Tomorrow, I'm ready. I'm ready for tomorrow. Horseback riding, Palm Springs, chocolate skin. I'm ready for that tomorrow. Like as happy as she is, as happy as he seems, he done put a T around her neck, put a ring on that finger. That's what I'm
All
talking
the
about.
T's.
All the T's.
Yeah, he branded
Yeah,
her.
and I
The
think
big
it's
T, the big C,
situational.
big carrot,
You're
big
not
What's
gonna
the
T.
get-
situation?
You're not. No, I'm saying per. Like, you're not going to tell an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old, yeah, do it tomorrow. Or maybe, I don't know.
Well, that is an answer. Well, they shouldn't be dating.
Right.
if they can't,
18, Oh.
Yeah, I mean, not to the degree that it's seen, like
Yeah.
hanging out or whatever and all that stuff like that. And I mean, it's okay to have, boyfriend, girlfriend at that age or whatever, but for someone that young, it's time to get married when you can take a step to establish yourself and
Right.
pay your own bills.
Right.
If you're paying your own bills, even if it's a struggle, but you're paying your bills, right? You could live on your own or whatever it is, or I've talked to people before who are all kind of already fooling around, and they're like, yeah, but we don't have the money to have the apartment, but my parents, offered to move in. The Bible's saying, separate from your mother and father and become one. That's not speaking to like you can't live in their home.
Right.
It's speaking to the submission process,
Right.
the leadership process, because there's people, back in the Mesopotamian days, which is when these scriptures are written, it was common that a family just added a new room,
Yep.
for
the house.
for the kids that were getting married. They were 13, 15, 16 getting married. Like they weren't, taking a donkey 60 miles away. They all lived in the same village. Like they just got some concrete and mud and added an additional room.
Yeah.
So, we've just modernized these concepts so much that it's just silly to even think that that's what the Bible was talking about. So, you can live with mom and dad for a season and still get married as long as everybody's clear on each other's, roles and responsibilities. And so, so even the fact of like having to buy your own apartment or whatever, that's not necessarily the deciding factor. It's just statistically, the more comfortable you are in your finances and your financial literacy, the more that you're not in debt, the more success you have in the marriage in the long run, because money, kids, and career bring arguments in the household. So, the stronger you can be for kids financially, career for money, and then career in terms of school's done, all that, it's less stress.
Right.
But your marriage can still make it.
Right.
So it's time. When's it time? Well, there's a few things that it should be time. If you're enjoying the cookie, it's time to get married, So if you're ordering from the menu regularly, then it's time to buy the restaurant, that or stop ordering from the menu,
Right.
Stop enjoying because that's God's child, and so that's not your spouse. Protect them, honor them. And on top of that, you and I have experienced this. We've had many sexual partners, and it was hell in our marriage getting on the same page because of both of our poor decisions. So, this person you may not even end up marrying, and you're gonna have baggage attached to it and difficulties attached to it. So hey, if they're good enough to sleep with regularly, why are they not good enough to be your spouse?
Right.
So there's that. On top of that. If you're in your 30s and you're dating longer than a year or two, it's time for marriage or stop dating them. Because if you're still unsure, then I don't know that you'll ever be sure.
Right.
And the likelihood that people in their 30s start dating, they tend to have kids before they get married, which is upside down. You want God's blessing, you want God's favor, you want his hand. Doesn't mean easy.
Right.
It'll still be difficult. It'll still be hard.
Yeah.
But if you want God's blessing, then do things God's way.
Yeah.
And God says that when you find a woman who's pleasing to you, then you make a commitment to them. You make a vow and to become one. And if you're already sleeping together all the time, you've already become one. You've played marriage. So and I get it. There's struggles, there are temptations, but a lot of people, it's just, we act married. We're dating. We're with each other all day. We have sex together. We, have pregnancy scares together. We go on vacations together. They do, and it's like we, holidays, we spend it with each other's families. Christmas, Easter, we're hanging out with each other's families. Thanksgiving, we're hanging out with each other. So it's like, so be married. That was one of the things I told you when we were dating. You're like, hey, you want to come over Thanksgiving? I'm like, no, I'll build memories with your family when I put a ring on it.
Right. Yeah.
Because I had a situation with my previous engagement, and I would go to her family all the time who lived somewhere else. And then when she married her other guy, they'd message me and be like, you were so much better than this guy. And I'm like, that's her husband.
Right.
That, I don't need the family comparing me to the guy that she actually chose to be married to.
Right.
And so for me, it was like, I may not marry Ashlee. Right. I'm not going to create Thanksgiving, Christmas memories with her family and then one day be compared or not compared, make it harder for that guy that is actually going to put a ring on her finger.
Right.
And then the moment I put a ring on your finger, I'm like, cool. I like to get to know your extended family. I obviously was getting to know your immediate family, or if it was just a family gathering, I'd be happy to go to it.
Right.
But these intimate things, holidays and all that, I was like, no, Ashlee, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to bring you around my family, And then I had dated, kind of talked to a girl that kind of had a broken home that my mom, really felt sorry for. And then I started dating you, and my mom's like, oh, I'm still doing lunches with her. I'm like, Mom, you need to stop. Yeah. I'm about to get engaged to Ashlee. Yeah. I don't want my wife dealing with that. Stop it.
Right.
Oh, I just feel so bad. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Right.
Make
Right.
some,
Yeah.
pass her to someone.
Right.
Make
Right.
some recommend. There's plenty of women
Absolutely.
that can walk alongside of her. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good.
you got something else on it?
No, that was great.
I know we're out of time. We got to land
Yeah,
the plane.
no.
That's why you're saying no.
Yeah.
But you got a meeting to go to.
I do. I know.
I don't, but
No, you got to go take care of our sick little boy.
oh yeah, Matthias has a cold right now. He's in my office.
I do.
She has a meeting.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. What was thinking? Oh, how to know you're married.
Yeah.
How to know when it's time to
Time
get
to get
married.
married.
Well, and that was a men's question. It was a guy
Yeah.
asking, huh?
Was there more?
There's more questions. Yeah. We can get to them another day. But hopefully that was good on rapid fire. I think we said a good amount of stuff today
We
to
did.
offend people.
Yeah, I do. I do. Especially that last one.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Let's get it together.
Come on.
But I loved,
The one thing I can't stand is they think that you're arguing now while you're dating. Arguing's gonna happen when you're married. The statement
Yeah, the
it's
concept
always
of-
harder when you get married
yeah.
because I'm committed. Well, ain't you committed to calling her every single day? Good morning, baby. How you doing? Morning breath. You're doing all of the things every day.
It's harder to own a car than borrowing a car from your friend's house. Of course.
You're right.
Of course dating is easier.
Right. Yeah.
You're borrowing the car. You can give it back anytime.
Anytime.
But yes, the moment you sign the dotted line
Yeah.
to own a home,
Yeah.
that you come with
Yeah.
all the issues,
Yeah.
you are the landlord now.
Yeah.
Yeah. At any given time, it's someone else's son, someone else's daughter. So of course, dating,
I think
is easier. What are you talking about?
the statement
Of
that you
course.
said too, which it just stands out to me, is so true because I've never done Turo before, and me and Allie just did Turo when we went on our this reunion, and
Which is a type of car rental for
car
those
rental.
that don't know.
Yeah, it's a car rental. But as we got the car, and this is my
You
first
rent
time-
people's personal cars.
Yes,
That's
their
what it is.
personal car.
Yeah.
So we got this car. I walk up to this car and I'm looking at this car and I'm looking at every dent, crack, scratch. And I'm telling Allie, take pictures of this because I'm like, I want to make sure. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, I got the highest insurance on it just so we da-da-da-da, make sure nothing's wrong. Why can't we view every individual as like what you just said? Every individual that you're ever dating, boy or girl, any argument, strife, heartbreak, scratch, dent, you are now placing on that person. And if you don't last, they still have those going to a next relationship. They still have those dents, scratch, bruises, comparisons. This person drove me a little bit softer, nicer around the edge, didn't hit curbs, didn't scratch my rims. They didn't bruise my ego. They didn't make me feel, they bruised my ego. They made me feel insecure. They made me
Right.
feel less. Why aren't we just trying to date with intentionality of just protecting the person? That's something that I did even with you. And this was a new relationship, but something within me was regardless, and because I believe that you were just a godly man, there was something where I felt like God was like, whatever you do, whatever comes out of it, protect him as a person. Protect him as don't. And Adam, before we got married, he made this statement: if you had an attitude, we would not have worked. You hid that attitude until we got married.
Yeah.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't think you really ever saw. We got in one, but it was me being insecure. But not yelling, or you never saw me just. Oh, never.
Dang, never?
Never. Not in the 2 years.
She fooled me.
Definitely did. Hook, line, sinker. But in that moment, it was because it was something where now looking hindsight, thinking about it, is the relationships that he had were going to bruise him before we got married. So thinking about if I was bruising him or scratching him or denting him in the ways that I probably could have, and probably maybe situations probably deserved, and I just didn't, and there was grace and love, and just I was in love with him, and I wanted to protect him of who he was. It helped to our marriage, to where God graced us through the beginning state of our marriage, that we were going to have these humps to get over. But all that to say is, when you're dating with intentionality, try to just...
And all that stuff could be hidden. Dating, you could have hid, and even if we moved in together for a season, you could have hid all that stuff.
I could have. Yeah.
It was, and marriage makes, we know it. men try hard in the dating season and women don't really. And then men get married, and then men don't try hard anymore because they locked it down. And then women go, okay, I'll try now because now it's safe, and so there's almost
security. He's not going to leave me.
Yeah, so there's a flop, right? So it's like in the dating phase, I'm trying to swoon you, take you out on these credible dates, impress you, peacock, right? Men, animals in the wild. The men look the prettiest, right? Because they it's to attract the female animal, and hey, come mate with me or whatever, and then when I do that with you, I could easily be like, all right, I got her. I don't have to do it no more. Right. And then the woman goes, oh, now I'll give you my heart because now it's safe. And now I can, and now actually, I'll show a little bit more of this personality that I've hid. And so both have to have an understanding that I need to have an understanding when I got married, I got to continue to try hard. I got to continue to peacock for my wife. I got to continue to swoon her, date her, love her. It wasn't just to lock her in and get her barefoot and pregnant, And then the flip side for the girl, it's okay, I got to be mindful. I can't just all of a sudden be a jerk and be rude because in the dating phase, I only gave him 20% of who I am to try to get him to and then it's like, there's times I would joke with your mom and I'd be like, hey, this is your daughter. Hey, who come get your daughter, so, but it's that men and women operate in two different seasons. So this misconception of, we'll just go live together, or if you date long enough, you'll be able to really judge. You'll see them in more seasons, but kind of anyone could hide anything for however long. Right. So whether you date a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, even if you move in together, there's still everyone's still kind of protecting themselves to a certain degree,
Absolutely. I've heard multiple relationships of just even people that I've chit-chatted with where the girl was like, Ashlee, I just found out and we've been dating for 8 months. He has kids. And I'm like, what? You've been dating for 8 months and you just found out he has kids? I'm like, that should be the opener. That's the opener. Right.
But and everyone's that's why there should be a season of a good amount of dating for sure to see, we tend to recommend the 4 seasons, fall, winter, spring, summer, a year, at least, unless you just know and you're more mature and you can read those things really fast and you could just go into the meat of the conversations really quick. That normally comes from people that are a little older that could do that. But at the same time, there's a good middle ground. Yeah. It's like you don't want to date so long that it's like the person.
Right, absolutely.
You know the person. You know as much as you can know without being married. Are you going to make the commitment or not?
Right.
I'm still waiting on seeing some things. I'm like, well then. You just don't like their character in certain regards. You need to move on.
Them.
Like you need to move on. You need to find someone else. But if it's like, okay, we're 2-3 years in, whatever, we're fine. We both live, we both have careers. We both could do this if we wanted. Well, what are we waiting for? You wait from a sign from God. Right. Your sign from God is be one, and he will honor you. Like that is his sign. He's given you the path to blessing and honor. It is to honor him. And then marriage is hard because the man throttles back, and then the woman goes, oh, I'm going to show you all of me. And then there's still, and then the maturity level doesn't raise in marriage. It then becomes, well, I didn't sign up for this or whatever. And that you can't pre-filter out or whatever.
That marriage date, whatever the date was, you signed. You signed up for it.
And you showed me a version of you when we got married that I didn't know existed. And guess what I did? I went into fervent prayer to God. I trusted him. I did my part. I pastored my wife. I held her accountable. I listened to her. I encouraged her, rebuked her, everything I needed to do as a husband. And you're a lot better. You're a lot better. You're not the best, but you're a lot better. You're the best person for me, but you still get mean, at times. No, I'm just kidding. Ashlee's great. She's human. Yeah. Ashlee would love for me to show emotions. So, everybody.
I think that's why I get mad, because I'm like, let me just do it for both of us. I'll double up. Like sometimes I get more passionate than him, and he's looking at me. He's like, dang, should I be this mad too? And then he'd be like, oh, I'm like, no, chill. I got this.
It'd be like the boys would break some or some would break in our house. It's like,
What'd you say?
He's always been mellow since you met him.
Yeah.
yeah. I became mellow after I got saved. Yeah.
Yeah. I
haven't met too many people, but my personality, well, in some ways, but my personality changed when I got saved. Yeah. I used to be very, like in high school, I was voted most likely to be a celebrity one day. And I was very outgoing, very, very loud in class, made jokes, all that stuff like that. Very high conflict, like conflict, anger issues, all that. And then when I got saved, I just introvert, quiet, all that stuff like that. And then manage my emotions better. I knew that was a big deal that I needed to do. When I was younger, push things, bite my brothers. Like I had anger,
Thomas.
like, yeah. Remember, I busted Nathan's kneecap at a zoo when I was like 13 because he said something and he fell down.
I thought it was at SeaWorld.
No, it was at San Diego Zoo.
San Diego Zoo.
Yeah, and they thought he tripped on water or something. And so I had crazy anger issues. So like that's why I even recognize it still to today. I manage it very well, but it's very hard. Yeah, I mean, it'd be almost impossible for anyone to unlock it. But if it's unlocked, it's like red anger, So even like our, Sammy, who's on Beyond the Letters, we were recently at something and a guy hit Sammy's car at a dinner, and we were on a person's porch and we saw it during Labor Day weekend, and Sammy was in front. He went to go talk to the guy, started cussing Sammy out, calling him a little blank and a little blank. When the guy hit Sammy's car, he was trying to scare Sammy, big dude, trying to scare Sammy. To like get him to be like, no, it's fine. Just, you're good. Just, and I just, everything in me, because I was sitting, and there was all these pastors, everything was sitting in me. It was just like, don't go down there, Adam. Because if this guy.
And I wasn't there because, I would have walked down there in a heartbeat and then Adam would like, God.
No, Ashlee would have been like, you need to go help Sammy.
I would have been like, go. Either you go or I'm going in this Coliseum because the black person.
And the people hosting it were like in their 70s. And then when Sammy came up, I was like, hey, bro, you're one of my best friends. I went down there like to not escalate it. I just know. And then the woman who I just met, was very, 70-year-old people. They're very wealthy. She goes, yeah, you're pretty scary. It was a good choice. You definitely wouldn't have calmed it down, but I'm aware. Like now if I felt like Sammy's life was in jeopardy, like not life, but like it was going to turn, I would have gone down there and made sure. But some people, they look at every opportunity. Yes, this is the time. I'm gonna let loose. For me, I go, don't go there. Like, just don't, so.
That little Adam's in my head somewhere.
Yeah, go find him.
Do
God
it.
bless you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.